I remember turning it back on after being like, what the heck, Raiden? I turn it back on and my character's face is fucking gone. It's just a completely like black blank face. And then like there's a gopher that pops up out of the ground or something, or a mole, and he's like, hey, you're supposed to save the game before you exit. And I was like, I know! I'm aware! My fucking little shithead brother hit the power button. Funky.
Hello, this is Kate from the future. I'm editing this episode and realizing that the audio we were listening to, that we're dancing to, did not come through in the recording, so enjoy. It was very cute.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Okay, cool. Welcome back to what platform will we record this on? Take four. And action. The editing for this is going to be wonderful.
It's going to be a fucking nightmare for you.
It's going to be great. This is take 4 because we had recorded a couple of times on different platforms and it kept crashing. And so even though this is the beginning of the episode, we had been already talking for a while at this point. Okay, I want to go back to some of the topics that we I just wrote Shrek. Just Shrek.
Yeah.
I feel like Shrek is having a moment again. Like,
I feel like every 3 years there's a, how do you, Shrek erection?
girl,
a
you
Shrek
are
resurrection
plugged into the culture.
Every so often there's like a new wave.
So you were having a very astute cultural observation on the reemergence of Shrek every few years. I would vehemently agree. And I know that, I guess, DreamWorks, there's now like a Shrek Land thing at
DreamWorks Land. I'm excited to visit. I'm pretty sure they turned Jimmy Neutron's ride into Shrek 4D.
Okay. Oh, Shrek 4D. That's what I remember it being called.
Yes. Yeah. So that ride is long gone. That's been replaced by a Minions ride, but I think they realized their wrongdoing with taking Shrek like out of the park, and they basically were like, how do we recoup this like uprising that Shrek is having again? And so they built the DreamWorks Land in the back. I have yet to visit, but I'm excited.
How do we recoup this uprising? I love your vocabulary. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think, I mean, Shrek is just like, it's just that it's a brand, it's a franchise. It's like,
it's a timeless classic.
It's a timeless classic. It just sticks around in your mind. I feel like I quote something from Shrek like often, you know?
Yeah.
Like in the morning, I'm making waffles, you know, something like.
Every time you would disappear from our last trying to record on Riverside, you would disappear and I would go, 'cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Like, Donkey is just so quotable.
Love Donkey. Donkey's the best. Donkey's so funny. Fun fact, I don't know if this is like how true this is, but when we bought the place that we're living in, the builder was like, Eddie Murphy's son either lives upstairs or used to live upstairs. And I was like, what? You're telling me Donkey's kid is just upstairs? Just like
those little donkey dragon babies? One of those lives upstairs.
One of those. That's yes, obviously. That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah, Shrek I could talk about forever. I mean, the soundtrack, I feel like it introduced us to so much music. It was like this weird, it was like for adults, but for kids. I think it was one of the first times that I feel like we saw like cool music that our parents liked, like over a cartoon. And it was like, this is cool. Like they're playing the Monkees right now.
Right. Yeah. There was the soundtrack was just really unbeatable. And then like there was, I feel like kids movies nowadays, I mean, granted, I'm not watching a ton of kids movies and there's still some kids movies that do this, but like particularly there's two examples of like cartoons that were made almost equally for kids as they were for children or for adults. And it's Shrek and SpongeBob. Like, those
Yeah.
are two pieces of entertainment that are like marketed for kids, but equally enjoyable for adults because they obviously adults made it. And so they put in
Yeah.
jokes that they would like to see that go just clear over little kids' heads, but
Yeah.
land with the adults. And so the adults are laughing and the kids are laughing because the adult is laughing, but they don't know what they're laughing at.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like everyone's having a good time and everyone can enjoy different parts of it, you know?
Yeah. I think you're totally right. And I feel like Shrek like really set that into motion. Obviously, there's like the dark side of that with like the whole Nickelodeon like expose thing that
Yeah.
came out on Hulu of like the maybe the dark side of like adults writing for kids shows or whatever. But Shrek, I would like to keep separate from that conversation because Shrek is just it's for everybody. I can watch it at any time, in any
Yes.
mood, in any setting. It's like always the most just like appropriate thing to have
Yeah. I
on,
don't
I
think there
feel.
was many like, and that's the thing is like it was made by adults. I don't know how many child actors were on
Mhm,
Shrek or SpongeBob. You know, it wasn't
mhm.
the exploitation of like child actors.
Yeah, and my adult self could not handle any bad news about Shrek. Absolutely
No,
not.
for sure
I
not.
could not. Okay, so we talked about you're booking flights, right?
Oh,
You're
yes.
booking flights and you've booked a flight to LA, which is so
Woohoo!
exciting. I
My
know.
first grown up by myself flight. Woohoo! I'm
I'm so
excited.
yeah, yeah, I'm so excited too. You're gonna come, we're gonna record, we're gonna go to see Hosier, we're gonna
Woo
like I think
woo.
there's like a wedding or something at the
Oh, you
time.
know,
Yeah,
just some little
makes us
event at the end of the weekend that, you know, we've only
yeah,
been thinking about for like ever.
yeah, just just casually.
Somebody somewhere is
And
doing so much planning for this, you know.
yeah,
Just
it's not me. Somebody somewhere, but
somebody somewhere.
is agonizing over every single freaking design decision. Not even like logistics. It's just design. Like
Yep.
I should not be planning a wedding. But we talked about like you were looking at another flight, I think to go see your brother, who is amazing and is
Yes.
in Seattle for the summer.
Shout out
And
Raven.
shout out Raiden. And can I say where he works or should we just keep it?
I feel like it's not a terrible. Maybe we don't say the actual name, but he's doing an
Okay.
internship in Seattle at a well-known company. I'm so proud of him. He's about to go into his senior year of college at
Ugh,
UF. Shout out.
you want to make me
Um,
cry? Is this what
oh
you're
God, love that kid to death. He's smarter than I'll ever like to admit. And Raiden, if you're listening to this, just mute this next part. He's way smarter than me, and I don't like to tell him that because his head's big enough. But
if your ratings keep scrolling, keep scrub past this.
scrub past this.
Need him to
Yeah.
think that we don't like him.
But I'm so proud of him, and I wanted to go visit him. But man, flights are fucking expensive, and particularly those like Frontier and Spirit flights that look like they're a good price, and then you go to book them, and there's there's the airline fee, and then there's the breathing air fee, and then there's the seat fee, and the seatbelt fee, and the fee, and the fee fi fo fum, and the baggage fee, and the thinking about your baggage fee, and the checking your baggage to make sure it got on the plane fee, and there's a fee for everything.
Oh
There's a
my
fee if
god.
you think about buying food. There's a fee if you buy food. There's a fee for this one single goldfish cracker they're going to give you. Why have
Stop.
airline snacks become crumbs? That's what I want to know. I remember like not a full size like snack bag of chips, but like just slightly smaller than that. Like when I was a teen and we would fly, it was like a fairly, packaged size of like, oh my gosh, was it? I think JetBlue had the blue corn, or not the blue corn, they were blue potato chips.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
was that was the snack that I looked forward to
You're like,
anytime
"We're
we
booking JetBlue just for the snack."
My stepmom loves JetBlue. That's her airline.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
got a ton of points. But we would book it, and I would get on one of those, and I'd be like, "Give me them blue chips, boy." And nowadays they're like, "Would you like one single Biscoff cookie? And if you don't want it, we're actually gonna like open the window and toss it out." Because fuck you, take this fucking cookie.
Literally, you're not wrong. It's like not only are flights double the cost of what they were when like we were in high school, like you get less food and those like I don't know. I mean, in
And less
general,
seat.
yeah, less food, less seat. I think the flight attendants just don't want to fucking be there. Like
No.
the mood in America right now is like if you're unemployed, you're hurting, and if you are employed, you're hurting because you're like employed and that's pain and you're doing so much labor and everything is so expensive. It's just that's the
Mm-hmm.
mood right now. So I feel like whenever I'm on a flight, the flight attendant is trying to dodge me as much as possible. She's trying to act like she didn't see me, you know. Excuse me, miss.
Excuse me. So sorry.
Could I get just a water? Just like a cup of water. Thank you. 45 minutes later, she comes back with the water. I'm so sorry, I forgot. Yeah, no,
And that's the
flying
thing,
is
you try to be like so nice too, because you know that the majority of the people that they're dealing with, like 95% of the people that they're dealing with, are just fucking assholes, like just major assholes. And so you try to like overcompensate by being like the nicest you've ever been in your entire life.
Yeah,
And
watch
you're
them
just like,
safety demonstration just
you
so they
just try
feel
to like,
someone.
oh, yeah, exactly. You're making like full eye contact through the entire safety demonstration. You're like, yes, I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
Doing
Thank you.
such a great job. Good job. Love.
That arm form is really fantastic.
Your
10 out of
buckle work,
10.
impressive.
And then when they come along, you're like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. Can I please have a Diet Coke?" And they crack open like 1 ounce of Diet Coke, and they're like, "Here you go."
No, it's so painful, dude. It's so painful. Oh, I hate flying. I want
Thank you
like
for my ration, sire.
that's literally how I feel on a flight. And I'm
Thank
like,
you.
I'm flying across the country, first of all. Thank you for this little snack for this 6-hour flight. I mean, like, unless I pack my lunch before, which I'm going to start doing, like, I'm going to get on the plane with a little lunchbox, just like going to school. Like, I probably paid like $500 for that flight, $400 for that flight. And I'm literally like, how has the service gotten worse and I'm paying more money? Anyway, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was so funny when you were like the the fee fi fo fum, the seatbelt fee, the taking off your
The
seatbelt
fuck
fee,
you fee.
the fuck you fee, the why are you asking me for an
The
ounce
fuck
of
the
Diet Coke
emissions
fee?
fee.
It's so painful. Yeah, so that's
That's
I
flying
sent
in
you
a
the thing
nutshell.
that was like the spirit. It was like take spirit, you gonna become a spirit. Yeah, I've seen some funny stuff like that. Tell us about your cookie saga this week.
Oh man, I found a recipe online. I'm a chocolate chip cookie bitch. I love chocolate chip cookies. I live for chocolate chip cookies, and like freshly baked ones. But making an entire like batch of cookies makes me want to kill myself. So instead, I've been on the hunt. It's been a very long hunt for like just a single cookie recipe that doesn't take like a ton of ingredients.
Meaning
And
like one big cookie.
yes, like I just want like one big or like a couple like smaller cookies. Like I don't want 12 or 24 cookies that I have to like let the dough chill and shit like that. No, I want to like mix it all together and throw it in the oven, and then I get a cookie 20 minutes later. And I finally found a recipe for just one cookie that turned out so good. Oh
Dude,
my
the
god, it was
snaps were
delicious.
like I was like blah, 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 blah.
Shout out
Dude,
to dessertfor2.com by Christina Lane. You a real one.
go off,
This recipe
Christina.
is so good. I mean, genuinely, I didn't measure the chocolate chips, by the way. That's an ingredient you have to measure with your heart. Um,
Sorry,
you
thanks
do
for
it
the
till it feels right.
recommendation, Christina. But
Right. She said 2 tablespoons is enough. I said, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm gonna pour until I feel content with the amount. Um,
So you just had melted chocolate chips with like a little bit of dough.
Pretty much, no. It was mostly
That
cookie.
sounds
And then the
good.
second batch that I made, I didn't send you a picture of this one. I did try to split it into two. They kind of morphed in the middle. I
Mhm.
sprinkled sea salt, not sea salt. I sprinkled like just
Oh, that would have been good
like
though.
chunky kosher salt on the top because I don't have sea salt. What the fuck am I rich?
What's the
Um,
fucking difference, dude? You put salt on the thing.
yeah, it came from somewhere
Yeah.
salty, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter whether it's the sea or wherever the fuck else they get salt.
Where else do they get
Um,
salt? Is it like made in a factory?
no, I
This
feel
is
like
where
it.
people are gonna question our intelligence.
They're gonna be like, are these people
Should I be
actually
listening to people that think
intelligent at
salt
all?
comes from a factory?
I know there's a
With all that.
chemical like reaction that you can create salt, and I know that like it'll. I think it because there's like salt crystals that grow on like walls and stuff, right? I think.
Right. Did they get
Um,
those? Okay, wait. Can be
I
found
think you
in
can
many
harvest
places
that.
on Earth, including seawater, underground deposits, and salt lakes.
Okay, so most of the time that involves water. I feel like.
Yeah. So people just pulling up to the salt lake and just kind of rain. Rivers and streams have washed over rocks containing the compound sodium chloride. That's so crazy that we were like, yo,
Let's
this
crush up
like
them
these
rocks and put
little
it on
rocks.
our food.
Yeah. They were like, yo, these little rocks, shit goes crazy.
Somebody somewhere was looking at those like mountain goats lick like doing like salt licks on the side of a mountain like and they were like, yo, do I need to try that?
Okay, I want to ask you. So I got these cards. Shout out to my bestie Aneri who got for my birthday last year these cards from Seek Discomfort. And they're like cards to connect people who have friends, family, and partners who live anywhere that's considered a long distance. So me and
That
Haley live.
dubious.
We do be living probably the longest distance, one of the longest
One
distances.
of
Like
them, yeah.
we're quite clear across the
Within the
country.
same, continent
Yeah, within the same
and
continent. So I'm just
country, I
gonna
should say.
like pick. Thank you.
Because
Thanks,
technically, we
geography.
could be on the same continent. I could be in Mexico and you could be in Canada.
This
Although
is what I
that would
was
be flipped
saying,
for sure.
and that's on geography. Uh.
We know something about something,
And that's on
barely.
the little globe thing, the little spinny globe. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. What's a moment we've shared together that you would relive over and over? Oh my gosh. Why do I
Mm.
immediately feel that like I'm gonna cry? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Um, that I relive in my head over and over, or would like to relive over and over?
Would relive over and over. I gotta think on this.
Mm. Swimming in your grandparents' pool as a child.
Hmm.
Post me learning to swim. Thanks for that, by the way.
Aw,
Do you
wait.
remember holding, like, you taking my floaties off and just, like, shoving me into the water and being like, swim, bitch. Swim underwater. Because I could swim, like, above the water, but I didn't ever swim
Wait.
underwater. And you were like, get the fuck. And you held my head under the water and you were like,
Was that
go.
is that one of the things that you're in retrospect grateful to me for, or is that one of the ways in which I traumatized you that I
No,
need
I
to
mean, I learned how to
apologize
swim
for?
underwater, so, it all comes out even in the end. I didn't die. I learned how to swim underwater.
Oh. I have to go on an apology tour every time Haley shares a memory because I was just like vile to her. I was like, "Kid."
No, it was
Yeah.
fine.
I
What
remember
else
just
are
being
like, I
like,
mean, effectively, you were my big sister, and what else are
yeah.
siblings for? So,
No, I mean, yeah, I had to. It was like it was in me. It was like primally in me that I was like, "This bitch, get them floaties off. Get in the water. Get in the water." That reminds me of like the Notebook. Oh, my other laptop is gonna die. Um, that is so sweet because I would say similarly, like just like summertime with you, just anytime like it was like school was out and it was summer and it was like we could have sleepovers, it was like unlimited sleepover
yes.
to the point where we would have too much sleepover and then like hate each other and be
Be
like, all
sick of
right.
each other.
And like, yeah, that was maybe my first experience with codependence. I was just like, I really want to be around her all the time, but also I want to pull her hair out and prank her
3
when she's
days into being
sleeping.
together, you're like, actually, I don't want to be around her all the time. I want to strangle her to death.
Yeah. I wanna prank her and I wanna yeah. Oh, I know. That was so funny. I like, as a kid, our relationship. I think what I would relive is also, like, summertime. I was thinking of 2 things. One, I was thinking about just, like, slip and slide summer, where it was
Oh
just, like,
man.
you just, like, full, like, just no rash guard, just slamming your body on the front
Yeah.
yard, just
Who knew you were supposed to
sliding.
use like a little blow up boogie board for those things?
We were too redneck for that, girl. Boogie board? That's for
Ah,
soft kids. We ain't raising no soft kids. I'm tired of this, grandpa. Well, that's too
it's too
dang
damn
bad.
bad.
So that, and then I think when we would stay up, when I feel like the internet was like an exciting slash scary place when we were kids. It was like our parents were like, okay, you can be on the internet in like these really like regulated ways, which was great because then we didn't like go
Mm-hmm.
too crazy. Like we would then do other things. Nowadays, it's a totally different story. But like we would stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m., especially when we were at your mom's
Yes.
playing on like Neopets or like I think it was mostly Neopets, but it would be like Neopets or like Instant Messenger or like MySpace or like, and I wasn't
Yes.
allowed
And
to have
Webkins
MySpace.
too.
Webkins, of course. I've tried to remember
Yes.
when Webkins exactly was introduced, but yeah. And then every time I would get on Neopets, I would be like, okay, it's time. I gotta do this. Neopets still like around
I
because I
think it
will,
is.
dude. I'm getting on there after
I think
this.
it is. And I
That's
think
me.
people like there's like I'm pretty sure there's a fairly like large culture with like actually using like real physical human money to like pay for special things, which is like this is a children's game. Why are we using like grown people money to buy like characters
It's
and
like,
like
yeah, people are just
special. Do you remember like the potions?
yeah, I remember,
Yeah,
like,
I think people
it
are
being
paying
so
for
hard
those.
to get money in the game, or,
Yeah.
like, you could reskin your character. It was like there were
Yeah.
some people in Neopets that I was so envious of. Like, I was just like, "Wow, like, they're so lucky," and, like, whatever, and now it's like I could heal my inner child because I have USD, you know what I mean?
Yep.
United States dollars, baby, in my bank account, and I'm just going I'm gonna go on Neopets, and I'm gonna, like, buy myself all the things that I didn't have. Yeah, no, that's, people gotta get pleasure how they get pleasure these days,
Yeah,
but
I
the
guess
whole
it's no
culture of
different than like buying Fortnite skins and
I just don't like that, though. It's like,
whatever.
I liked video games because it was, like, skill and, like, you couldn't buy your way into a better
Yeah.
experience. You had to, like, work on that. You had to, like, keep getting stuck on that one boss and then just keep going, and then you finally beat it and you fucking forget to save the shit. And then you're like,
Mm.
"Welp, it was a good life. It
I
was a
remember
good
the only time Raiden ever turned off my game while I was in the middle of playing was I was doing something on Animal Crossing. Of course, I was. I was doing something on Animal Crossing, and mom was like, "Dinner's ready," and I was like, "Okay, just a second." And like, I was just about to like finish whatever I was doing, and like about to save it, and Raiden's like, "Mom said dinner's ready," and he walked over and he hit the power button, and I lost my shit. And I was
Wait,
like,
I think
what
I
the
survived.
fuck? What is wrong with you? And I remember turning it back on after being like, what the heck, Raiden? I turn it back on, and my character's face is fucking gone. It's just a completely like black blank face. And then like there's a gopher that pops up out of the ground or something, or a mole, and he's like, "Hey, you're supposed to save the game before you exit." And I was like, "I know! I'm aware. My fucking little shithead brother hit the power button."
I'm dead. Oh my god. I feel like I was around for this. Like, I
You
feel
may
like
have been.
maybe it was when we were like living together in middle school or something.
It was definitely middle school, and I was fucking pissed. I don't think I'd ever been more mad at that point in my life. My stomach dropped. I was like, this character is going to be gone. My town is going to be gone. My life is ruined. My life is in shambles.
God.
It was fine, but I did lose a little bit of progress.
But see, that's why I thought like Raiden was gonna grow up to be like maybe a frat guy. Like
Yeah, we definitely thought he was going to be a shithead for a little while there.
yeah, like when I see him now, I'm like, wow, you like ended up so like sweet,
What a
and everyone's like,
well-adjusted, humble young man. I
yes,
don't know
like,
if humble's the word I would use to describe him, but
but like what a well-adjusted young lad, you know, like
yep.
you
What
would
a
never
fairly
know.
normal dude.
Yeah, like you would never know that like he was just taking people's digital cameras and like recording little crazy videos of himself doing like
His
little
little
psycho.
laugh.
I know. I feel like he ended up like so different than I imagined. That's so funny. I just put addressing people now from for now on as brother in
My
Christ.
brother in Christ.
And I want to talk about the bear, and I have a good transition. Okay. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Yep.
Vegan fish fillets.
What about him?
That's
That's your
that's
transition?
just those 3 words.
Okay.
Vegan fish fillet.
Each word of
No,
that sounds gross to me.
vegan fish and fillet.
Filet is the one word that I'm accepting here. No, I'm not a
Okay.
huge fish fan, and vegan fish sounds like I would extra not like it.
Now I like want you to try it though. I'm like,
I'll take one
maybe when
bite
you
just for
come.
you,
Oh, really? Okay.
as long as there's not like
Oh,
a weird sauce on there.
there'll be no weird sauce.
Okay,
I can promise that. Okay, yeah,
we could get a
that's a
vegan fish
fair.
fillet. Are we talking like
I'm
about like a
like
mick
a
fish
Gardein
fillet?
guy. Like a yeah, like it would be like a actually yeah, it's like very similar in taste and texture and size and consistency. Like it's basically that, but just
Hmm,
made with like soy.
never had one.
It's really good. I had them this week, the Gardein ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a fan. I like it. I'm like, wow, if I still ate fish, or like if I still wasn't vegetarian, I would definitely eat fish, I think, because it's just I ate so much fish stuff growing up, you know.
I
Like
do
my
remember
family was
that.
always like, let's have fish fillet, or like let's have shrimp. Like shrimp is not a meal, but my family would just make a bunch of shrimp and be like, "Yep, that's dinner. Just go at it." You know, it's like, oh my god, one day we have to talk about ingredient household. But anyway, let's get to the bear. I so the bear came out yesterday.
Bear
I feel
season
like
3 dropped
Bear
yesterday.
season 3, and you were like live texting me, and I was working on my freaking portfolio, so I couldn't watch it.
Portfolio was more important. More happened in your portfolio last night than happened with the entire season 3 of The Bear.
I'm glad I prioritized it because I am unemployed and do need a job. So, but yeah, I was like, damn, I want to know what's going on. I want to know how they carry out the story. And then you were like giving me some nuggets, and I was like, what? And then I knew that I saw that Io recorded or directed, had her directorial debut on an episode, and I was like, what? And then like the premiere was here a few days ago, so I saw a bunch of content from that, and I was like, what is happening? But it sounds like, without spoiling, not
Not a lot.
that much.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they did that maybe because they're like, we want a season 4, so we're not going to give you everything you want out of a season
I mean, it
3? We're
ended
gonna,
with like to be continued, but I feel like
eh, okay.
almost the whole season could have been. I mean, it's definitely like a lot of kind of drawn out seasons or episodes of like just person to person contact, right? Like there's a lot of conversations happening. There wasn't a lot of like cooking scenes or them, like working
Like,
out a
was it not a lot
menu.
of exposition? It was like there wasn't a lot of things happening. Is that what you're saying?
Kinda,
Like,
yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of like conversations and like cute little personal moments, but because there was a lot of that, there wasn't a lot of like plot progression, if that makes
And this is
sense.
10 episodes.
10 episodes, and we are set up pretty poorly for season 4.
Interesting.
Not
Okay.
that they did a poor job. It was a good season, and it was like, I mean, of course, everybody's incredible. And Io's episode, in my opinion, was probably my favorite episode beyond. I mean, like, everybody knows Natalie is going to have her baby. So is it really a spoiler that I say that the
Yeah,
baby is born?
no.
Like,
Yeah.
she was like 9 months pregnant at the last season.
Yeah.
So
Very
the
pregnant.
episode where
So.
Natalie has her baby and the episode that Io directed, which is like a full Tina episode, those were probably my 2 favorite episodes because they were
Okay.
like very like drawing you in and emotional and interesting. And the first episode, not that I think it was a waste at all. It was a great episode, but there was like next to no dialogue there. It was just like flashback scenes of like the different places that Carmi has worked at and like the current situation that he's in and like everything. And it was very, very intriguing and just kind of let us in more of, you know, where his mind is at and where his mind has been and everything like that. And so I think it was useful in that way to kind of remind us like of everything that he's been through. But there was like a full episode of like actually nothing happening.
And that's the first one. Yeah. I'm so intrigued. So maybe, yeah, they've like slowed down the pace because like there's more they want to do with the story. Did you feel like overall like any emotion like bummed at that, or you're like, okay, I get it, or like now I can't wait for season 4,
I
or like are you
mean,
gonna rewatch, or
of course I'm bummed because I'm like, I want this restaurant to be successful for them and I want to like see more. And so now that we're ending it and it's like, I don't know necessarily, I think timeline wise, we're like maybe a month past or maybe month and a half past like where we ended season 2. But I'm like, oh my God, we have to wait again to figure out if like every season ends with like, is this restaurant gonna turn into like concrete next week, basically? Like,
wow, still, because it
yes.
felt so sure at the end of season 2. It's like they're gonna have the success, they made so much progress, like that's what you feel walking away. So that's so
Yeah.
okay, so a lot of restaurant conflict. I want to go back to what you sent me, which was you're gonna be down bad crying at the gym for Richie.
Down bad crying at the
Crying
gym.
at
You
the
are.
gym.
I mean, he's so like
I'm a Richie
sweet.
girl. I know. I'm a Richie girl. It's
You're
fine.
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love him.
I like are there any, can you, without spoiling anything, like are there any like love interests and love plot lines?
I mean, so I was saying before that I think Richie and Jess need to get together and they do have some more contact this season, but it's it's
Interesting.
not in a again in there was no progression. There was no plot
Uh,
progression.
okay. So it was almost like a strategic filler season to like keep you wanting more,
Yes.
which I understand why a TV show would do
Yeah.
that. You know, they want to like elongate, right? And like milk it and such and make more money out of the experience, whatever.
I think my biggest shocker, the biggest thing that I was like, was seeing John Cena. John Cena's in this season. I was
John
like,
Cena?
hello,
Hell
how are
yeah.
you, Mr. Cena?
They have such good guest stars, dude. Or is it guest stars? Yeah, they
Yeah,
just have good people they bring on,
yeah.
like guest stars. Like when I saw Jamie Lee was mom, I was like, okay,
Shock and
hello. And
awe.
then John
Yeah.
Mulaney,
Oh,
Sarah Paulson was in there. I was like, hello? Can I be invited to this, please? It was great. So John Cena, anybody else? Wait, so can
um,
you tell me though if like Claire is back? Or
she
is
is
that too
in
much
the
of a spoiler?
season, but
Okay, she is.
again,
Okay,
there's
don't give me any spoilers. I just want to know if Molly Gordon returns. That's what I
yeah,
care
she was
about.
in the season. Most
Okay.
importantly, who returned was Maddie Matheson. Love him to
Oh yeah.
death. Oh my
Love.
god.
I feel like he would be, like, friends with us. Like, I feel like if I invited him over for, like, a dinner party and you were there and, like, some friends, like, I feel like he would really fit in
I
and be
would
funny
vibe
and
with Maddie Matheson so fucking
yeah.
hard. Dude has a bunch of cool like motorcycles. He's a fucking
Mhm.
bomb ass chef who makes
He
like
wasn't an actor, right? He was
no,
just
he's a
like a
chef. He's from Canada. He is a chef. He's one of the executive producers on the show
right,
because he's a chef.
right.
He makes fucking bomb ass, unfussy food. Do you follow him on
Love.
TikTok?
I think
His
so,
shit is
but I haven't seen his
unhinged and
stuff.
I love it. But he's got a bunch of cool motorcycles. He's got a bunch of like cool tattoos. Dude is just cool. Also,
Maddie Max.
unabashedly, he is like this. I don't even want to say that he's the second hottest person on that show because like
He's
genuinely I
very
bounce back and
attractive.
forth between like him and Jeremy Allen White. I'm like,
Ooh, that's very
it's
true. I
hard.
like
You've
it's like
got
a
the man who
different
acts as the chef with the tattoos, and then the man who actually is the chef with the tattoos. And
what a take. Oh my god. Yeah, and who acts like a just dodo bird, but there's something so appealing about
yes,
it. Yeah, he's great. I just think the casting is great.
adore him. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with the peoples and
Your
the
fave
characters.
and our fave are going to be together in, well, really, technically, your fave, our fave, and my fave are going to be all together for Fantastic Four. We get Eben Moss
Uh,
Backrack,
yes,
uh,
me
Joseph
boy.
Quinn, shout out.
Mm, hold on.
Um,
Let's just
Shout out to Joe Quinn.
take a deep breath.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Lupita Nyong'o for just existing alongside that man
The
and
Prestor is giving gifts.
letting him swoon for
Ugh.
you, at you, with you,
I
by the
know.
people, for the people, Joseph Quinn.
Their chemistry
Um,
is just it's so good.
Otherworldly, fantastic.
It's so good.
Um,
I love it.
and Pedro Pascal. They're all going to be in the Fantastic
I'm
Four.
not gonna be able to handle this. This is
Yeah.
it's gonna destroy me. I know I'm not gonna survive. I'm not gonna survive the press tour. I'm not gonna survive the movie itself.
Mm-mm.
I'm just not gonna survive. It was nice knowing you all. What am I even gonna look at when I see the movie? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be so diverted. It's like I'm gonna wanna look at Pedro. I'm gonna wanna look
I
at
can't, I'm not going to be able to watch it in like one of those like giant IMAX theaters where
no,
like
no,
you have
no,
to
no,
actually
no,
move
no, no.
your head like between
Correct.
characters. No, I can't watch it in one of those. I need it to be like all right here so I can absorb all of it at once.
And, like, pause and rewind and, like, go back 15 seconds and be like, "Is that what I thought it was?" Like, I need
Right.
a very, managing the experience. I probably will see it once in theaters and then, maybe not actually. I feel like that's gonna be too overwhelming. I need to watch it in, like, the privacy of my own home where I can, like, scream and be like,
Watch it in theaters, but 3 weeks late at a like a Tuesday afternoon matinee.
yeah, like, when it's already hit streaming and then be
Yes.
like, "Alright, I mean, might as well see
I
it on
can
the
go in
biggest
and
screen."
watch this in
Who else
peace
is
and
in
quiet.
that? Is Vanessa Kirby also she's the gal in it, right?
Oh gosh, I don't
I
know.
love her
Sue, who plays
so
Sue?
much. She's got such an interesting, like, superstar thing. I love her so much. But is she in it? Hold on. Vanessa Kirby, Fantastic Four. Yes, she is. 2025, baby.
Is that her? Who?
Yeah, she's the gal in it. She plays Susan Storm. So she's like the fourth, right, of the
Oh,
Fantastic Four?
Vanessa Kirby feels fantastic about playing Sue Storm in the new. Okay, got
Wait, so the Fantastic Four are Johnny Storm,
it. That's
Mr.
Pedro.
Fantastic.
That's
Wait,
no, sorry. Johnny Storm
you're
is
Joe Quinn.
Johnny Storm is Joe Quinn. Richard Reed, who's Mr. Fantastic, is going to be Pedro.
Mhm.
Vanessa will play Sue Storm, who is the Invincible Girl. Do you remember Jessica Alba's character?
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
then Eben
It's
will play the Thing, who's the one that's made of rocks.
thing. Oh god, that's gonna
I
be
think
so
there's a quote
fun.
from him. Somebody was like, "How are you prepping for this new role?" And he said he was looking at a bunch of rocks. And I was like, "That's iconic. Thank you for that, sir."
Nope,
Just
just
looking at a bunch of
looking at
rocks.
rocks. Just looking at a bunch of rocks. Yeah, what was
That's the
the
kind of method
Guardian
acting I approve of.
Yeah, be the rock. I just am. I know he's so funny. He's kind of this like kind of no bullshitter. I feel like, at least in interviews, like he seems very committed to just being still like a real human, which is
Mhm.
cool. Um, I saw this video of him, Io, and Jeremy Allen White like smoking outside of the premiere, just three of them, just together, just like cigs. And I was like, "What is going on?
It feels
Are
way
they
too normal
filming?"
for them.
It was just, I was just like, "What are you guys? What are you stressed?